Hello, you guys. We're just drinking our hot chocolate here. We're back with we're back with a video, and we're going to do a spoiler review of Thunderbolts. And I'm joined with Robbie. We just released our first rewatch video of the Infinity Saga. We just watched Captain America: The First Avenger, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about the Thunderbolts. We saw it a couple of nights ago. What's your general?
Well, you already seen it twice, right?
I've seen it twice already. Yeah. I thought it was really good. But what were your thoughts? What's your general vibe coming out of the cinema for Thunderbolts?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think this was sort of why I was sort of looking forward to talking to it at length. Because I think I'm still not 100% clear on what I feel about it. I know I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a really fun movie, but it's just at a really, really good movie, not a really awesome.
Not amazing.
Yeah. And I think there's a few things that I'm still sort of bumping up against that I'm still not 100% sure on, but also not sure on why.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure on the.
So the reasons is a little bit unclear.
So it'd be good to talk through them.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Well, I went to the exclusive preview on it, and I loved it coming out of the cinema. And I wonder whether that's part of the hype of just seeing something early.
Yeah.
And you're with the group of people who are also excited to see it. Yes, the press there, and I guess other influences. And so I wonder whether that skewed my initial reaction to it.
Did you see any stars?
No, no.
Other than YouTube stars?
Other than YouTube stars, yeah.
Yeah. I like yourself.
You're sort of. But yeah, and then watching it the second time again, I think I enjoyed it more because I was able to, I know what to expect.
Yes. Yeah.
Knew what was coming, and then was able to just soak in every moment of the film. So I think I enjoyed it even more the second time.
Okay, interesting. I think I generally enjoy the experience more the second time because the first time I was just ride the roller coaster of emotions. I mean, the second time I think I can enjoy what it's trying to say, what it's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Character doing. Yeah.
So we need to watch it again then.
Yeah, I think I'd like to. Yeah.
Watch it the second time.
Yep.
Well, let's go through some of the actors because it's a stacked cast. It is fantastic actors, and let's kick it up with Florence Pugh, who plays Yelena Belova. What were your thoughts on her?
Yeah, she's an interesting one. Does she feature much in the comic? What's her story?
She does. The first time I read her in the comic books was in a run of New Avengers.
Oh.
And she was an assassin. I think her face got burnt in that particular comic book run, and so she was hospitalized for a while.
Yeah.
And then the thing is with the comic books, with her in the comic books, she's not really the sister of Natasha Romanoff. Oh, really? There was not really quite a strong connection and relationship that we see from like Black Widow. And then I read a Black Widow run recently with her in it, and she's like this model. She's like this underground, kind of like a Sharon Carter type of character. And she's quite. I know. I was thinking about Sharon Carter about this film, and like she would have been good.
Yeah, she would have been. Yeah, that sort of underground sort of narrative working in the background.
That's right, or maybe even working for Valentina.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that would have been interesting. But yes, but Yelena in the comic books, I haven't encountered that much. But recently in the comic books, she's like almost like a not quite good, but not quite bad either. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So, yep.
Yeah. So she's not an Avenger.
Okay.
But I guess Marvel Studios is looking to make her one of the main Avengers moving forward.
I mean, they've got a name like Florence Pugh, right? Like, they have to make most of that.
She's an incredible actress. Yeah. But what do you think of her in this film?
Yeah, I think characters are interesting. I feel like in most movies, you have to just tell complete story in the movie, right? With the confines of the movie, whereas Marvel is in a unique position where they can almost tell a character story over multiple movies. Like Captain America's story is told over 8 movies.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think what I was trying to work out in this movie is how much does this move the dial of the character. So it doesn't have to be a complete sort of, I don't know, Dan Harmon has a story circle.
Yeah.
You've got the hero's journey or whatnot. It doesn't have to be complete like that, but does it move
her forward.
her forward? And I think it definitely does. It gives it a lot more depth. I think when I was trying to think about what I liked and didn't like about her character specifically, I think I find it quite hard to connect with her. Part of me wonders, is it the accent? Am I just not breaking through that?
Connecting through,
Yeah, part of me also wonders, is it just because she's actually playing somebody who's detached,
right.
who's sort of isolated herself and taken herself outside of people? And because obviously if she's playing that, her whole aim is to give that sense of isolation, right? So
Yeah.
so I'm not too sure if that is what I'm feeling, but I haven't really connected with her through both Black Widow
Oh yeah.
and
This, yeah.
but I do also think that the dial is definitely moved. I think the story of, I mean each character, it talks a lot about the tragedy or the trauma that they've gone through.
Yeah.
And I guess you definitely see that in this movie, which is a nice bit of depth.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like for the character of Yelena in particular, I really enjoyed, I guess, where we first introduced to her in Black Widow, and remember that scene where she's around the table, where they're all having the family reunion. I really thought that was the moment for me where I really connected with her, because I believed
Interesting.
I believed her desire to have family, and I think the underlying sort of theme of family for Yelena's journey has carried through. I guess from Black Widow to Hawkeye, because you saw it in Hawkeye as well, where she's trying to get revenge, right?
Yeah, on angry.
Yeah, she's angry and she wanted to get revenge on Clint because she thought that he killed her.
Yeah.
Or was responsible for her death. And so I guess the underlying, and then actually realizing that it wasn't his fault.
Yep.
I wonder what she would have felt after discovering that,
Yeah.
which led her, I guess, into the start of Thunderbolts, where she's just feeling this void of emptiness.
Yes.
And lack of purpose. And I feel like she portrayed that pretty well through the character.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's sort of like not it's not the actor's problem. I think Florence does an amazing job. I think it's just me trying to connect with this character.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to spoilers.
Yeah. No, spoiler. This is a spoiler review, so
Yeah.
I'll put that in the title.
Yeah, you take a 3-hour break or 2-hour break, watch the movie.
But watch it soon, because it's gonna get spoiled either way real quick.
I feel like that moment where on the street where she's talking to the Red Guardian about how she never had, she felt alone and he wasn't there for her. She lost a sister, she lost her dad and her mum. It almost felt like the bit where Thor talks about that to Rocket.
Oh yes.
He goes to all this, and I felt like that hit me more than this. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, and maybe it's just because we've had a lot more
time with Thor.
Yeah. But I think the way that was portrayed hit me harder than this.
Yeah.
Even though it did. Yeah. So I'm still trying to work that out.
That's fair enough. I reckon we all connect with characters differently, and I think that's cool. But any other thoughts on Yelena?
No. Did you have?
I think I'm looking pretty good. I think she's an excellent character, and for me anyway. And I feel like she might be the one leading the new Avengers forward. And that's cool. Let's move on to the next character, Sebastian Stan as Bucky.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how he was portrayed in this movie?
What are your thoughts on him as a senator?
See, that bit was, I was thinking about that actually.
Yeah.
And I feel like they came out of nowhere. The last time we saw Bucky, was in Captain America: Brave New World as a senator already.
Yes.
And then previous to that was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he was just a bro, right?
It was
Like,
just some dude hanging out. Yeah, okay.
Was he on a boat? Is
He
that
was,
him?
he was on the
Yeah,
boat.
just hanging. Yeah, so it's quite elite. So that's why I'm curious.
Yeah, he's on a boat with Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
just chilling, having a beer. Yeah, but I didn't understand how he got from there to be running for a person of Congress.
Yes, and I think what I'm trying to work out is in my head. Does this fit with the character? Does this character want to put in the hours and the time to kiss babies and shake hands and do all that stuff to climb that ladder?
Yeah,
And I don't know. It feels out of character. It does a little bit, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
so yeah,
So there's that, and then there's what was it in Civil War? Do we find out he killed JFK? And he definitely killed the Stark's parents.
correct.
He's got that. hanging over his head. And then we also know from Civil War that Black Widow released all the files to the world, right?
Yes.
That's not hidden information. So all of this makes me go,
Yeah, that's true.
That's a bit-
Who would vote for this guy?
yeah. I mean, he might be a man of the people, and
He might.
I mean, there's a lot we don't know.
I feel like there was some missing narrative gaps for that particular journey of Bucky, and I feel like maybe if there was some sort of context as to why he was running for Congress, what kind of difference did he want to make in the world by doing so, yeah, and that would have been more clear for me because he just popped up as a congressman
Yes.
in Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
hang on, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Like, so I felt like it was a bit out of place.
Yeah.
I mean, he did save the world.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether that plays a part in, from Avengers Endgame where he was, well, he fought in the battle at the very end. Everything's forgiven.
Yeah.
But I thought that Congressman part was a bit strange.
Yes. Yeah. So other than that, when he became the Winter Soldier again, that was very cool. Like it feels like he knows your character. He's sort of become the father figure now.
Yes.
To these guys.
The mentor.
Yeah. But even like it, I think one thing I really enjoyed about this movie too is they sort of got back to being able to tell a story even in fight scenes. And Bucky, like the way he uses his arm,
Yeah.
to use it as an anchor to flip over it, like this, awesome. Like it was just a clever way to distinguish his fight style compared to.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. Did you get Terminator vibes?
Yeah. I mean, the reload of the shotgun, right?
Yeah. Throwing the gun and then that's so Terminator.
It was very
Yeah,
motorbike.
Yeah, on the motorbike. Yeah, I thought Bucky was really good in this film too. I guess I think was it you that we mentioned when we were out of the cinema that he's always seems to be playing the supporting role
Yeah,
and never the lead. And I wonder what I think he'll be great as well.
I think so too. Yeah, I do think so too.
But yeah, I mean, I have no complaints about.
Yeah, he seems to own his character really well. Even we're in the dream sequence, and he's like, "I've had a great part."
Oh yeah,
We're like,
and we know it,
and everyone knows what he's talking about, right? So it's a thing like that. Like, oh yeah, he's got a good sense of himself enough to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
So humor from him is quite good when it's there. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think Bucky's great. All right, cool. David Harbour as Red Guardian.
Yeah, he's a hard one. I don't know how much I like him just because he's so good in Stranger Things. And I just like...
He's great on Stranger Things.
Yeah. He's just such a good character. But he's very, very funny. He plays it well. I feel like he passes the accent barrier for me. Like, he does that Marvel thing really well where he can be super funny in one scene and then a few seconds later he can be really honest and genuine.
Yeah.
In how he delivers something that has a sense of, I guess, hurt or a sense of that underlying trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really, really liked him.
Yeah, I liked him too. I thought he obviously is the comedy relief
Mm.
in this film, and I thought the balance of comedy in the Thunderbolts was pretty well,
Yes.
well done.
Good. Yeah.
You had those, yeah, like you said, emotional moments that worked really, really well,
Mm.
and that scene I think with Yelena, or all the scenes with him,
Yeah.
and Yelena,
Yeah.
you can see the chemistry between the two actors there, and I feel like that relationship really tugs at my heartstrings when I watched it. Um, and he plays a really tragic kind of character, huh?
He does. Yeah.
He wants to relive, I guess, those glory days,
does.
which is kind of
Yeah,
his
yeah.
sort of arc since Black Widow. You know, being able to fit in the suit again.
Yeah.
What's it? He's like, he met Captain America or something like that in Black Widow. And then that same theme carries through in this one. So I thought, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, he's got this old school sense of patriotism and
Yes.
the greater good and the heroes of old
Mm.
sort of thing. And I think this does carry through a bit more. Yeah, yeah, like you said, I think the way he connects with the family and all that
Yeah.
adds that extra level.
His power set is just super strength, right?
Yeah, good question. It feels like this team is made up of 3 super soldiers and Yelena.
Yes. And Ghost.
And Ghost. Yeah. But yeah, it does seem like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell, US agent,
Yeah.
the character we all love to hate.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually mind him that much in this. I sort of liked him from the. So he came from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, then it was first time
That's the first time we met him here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I sort of quite liked him. He sort of he does a really good job of acting like he's acting almost. Like he's got that hard soldier boy, like really like hard edge to him at the start, but underneath that he's soft and he's
Very insecure.
yeah. So I think you play that really well, even to the point of like, you like my hats, like
Yeah, that's right. Well, cool. Yeah. I'd really liked Wyatt Russell in this actually. I know he just carried on the same sort of personality from Falcon and the Winter Soldier perfectly, with his sort of twitches,
Yeah.
and his arrogance. I really enjoyed the aspect of his character.
Yeah.
Rough around the edges, but still very patriotic. Totally not a Captain America Steve Rogers.
Completely no. He almost does everything Captain America wouldn't do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it is cool that this movie sort of took it a step further and showed you what was underneath that hard exterior.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially with his wife and kids. Yeah, finding out that his wife and kid had left him. In this film. Yeah, I think Wyatt Russell is a brilliant actor as well in this.
Yeah.
And I love that character of the US agent. This Tarko shield that got bent.
Yeah, well, it's still bent at the end.
It's still better, and then you think surely someone could have fixed it.
Yeah.
I think fantastic Wyatt Russell. Lewis Pullman as Bob/Sentry.
Yes.
Brand new character introduced to the MCU.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I would have loved to. I thought it'd be so interesting to be able to go in there and not know who he was.
Right.
Just be taken on the ride of
finding out.
Yeah. That's true. Would have been a cool experience. He's good. He's very, very good. Yeah. I really enjoyed him. Really enjoyed how he played it.
Yeah.
I guess he's the main vehicle for the theme of the movie alongside Yelena, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They played the Void a bit different in this movie than the comics, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Bob is a kind of character like he has schizophrenia, and he has these personalities of like Bob, Sentry, and the Void. And I feel like they adapt the Void quite differently because I think in the comic books it's like this internal battle with him in the Void.
Yep.
And I think there's one instance in the comic book where they become separate entities, where they split. Where Sentry and the Void are two separate entities that can physically fight each other.
Okay.
Which is what they did, I guess, in Bob's mind in this film.
Yeah.
So I think that's some sort of adaptation there. But the way that they did it in this film is pretty good adaptation.
Yeah. It's very much a movie of our time, I guess.
Yes.
It does seem like the themes are right there in everyone's face.
That's it.
I think in terms of the character, I think he's probably the one that I think takes that sort of, his story's clearly not complete, which is sort of cool. Like the Marvel sort of knows enough about themselves to go, no, we're not gonna finish his arc yet.
It's just started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it almost feels like somebody handling, like, fighting depression like that. So firstly, I thought it was a cool way to depict it, that you can't just fight depression by beating the crap out of it and just trying harder.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool representation of that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they were to complete his arc, he would have had to beat that somehow by sort of giving up or stepping back or that sort of thing, with the help of the Thunderbolts, but not necessarily. He would have to do it himself.
Yeah.
Whereas the idea of them pulling him out of it and him not remembering it all, is clearly not a resolved.
It's not resolved at all.
But I think it leaves him in an interesting spot.
Yeah, I think so too. One thing I really love about Marvel is that, you're right. They take their time, to develop character, because it's such a serialized franchise right now.
Yeah.
And that you can tell us a character story.
Yeah.
Over many films, and I think that's one of its strengths, because you can really dig deep into its character development. I thought he had, Lewis Bond did some amazing emotional scenes as well, especially in that room. He's with Yelena, his safe room, and I thought how I just felt for him.
Yeah.
In that sort of abusive childhood that he grew up in, and also that scene at the end when they all hugged him and kind of stopped him from becoming the Void himself, was you're just brilliant acting on I guess editing and direction.
It was it was very frontally done.
From that. What did you think of Sentry's power set when he fought the Thunderbolts? There's an amazing scene in the middle where he took them all on and they had no chance.
Yeah. Which is sort of what you expect. Like, I guess for people who knew he was Sentry, it's like, what can they do? Like, they can't make him the big bad because he will tear them apart. So it was a cool way to play it. I guess parts of me also wonder if it was a bit of a leap in him, I guess, firstly almost turning against Yelena so quickly, with obviously Val whispering in his ear,
Right.
but also sort of he could barely boil a cup, and then he got like control of 90% of his power
Pretty quickly.
all of a sudden. So, but I mean, maybe that's just Marvel trying to shorten it to 2 hours. So I don't think I hold that against him much, but it's just that was quick.
Yeah, it was a quick deal, right? It was quick from just being able to heat up some water and break glass, to flying, almost teleporting, and burning things and beating things up. It was a quick turn, actually.
Although I do have to say, in that fight too, there were so many times I was actually nervous about specifically Red Guardian getting killed off, and them using that as the emotional turn.
Oh,
movie. So when you got put out the window,
oh no, when they do it,
but they didn't, to their credit. Like, I mean, that could have been maybe a bit of a cheat.
That's right.
Way to get emotional brownie points. But there were multiple points. I don't know. I'm sure they're smart enough to hint that, but I feel like there were a few points. There's another one where a thing falls on him.
That's right. You think,
oh no. So there's a few points where I thought they were going to kill him off, and that would be the thing that really tips Yelena
Yeah, over the
over.
edge.
Yeah. But
Maybe Avengers Doomsday.
yeah, mate. Yeah, quite possibly.
Did you like his suit?
Not at first.
Mm.
Which is funny though, right? Because his Void costume looks look good. Maybe his Sentry costume is is quite comic.
It's
accurate,
very
right?
comic book accurate. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. It took me off guard the first time I saw it.
very shiny.
I'm like, But then I also remembered that this is Valentina's design.
Yes.
And she's, she dyed his hair blonde like he has in the comic books, and she had big massive S vocabulary in the middle
Yeah.
of his belts.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, maybe this is Valentina's lack of fashion sense for this superhero.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm hoping.
Yeah. Okay.
So, as much as it's comic book accurate, it didn't quite work for me.
Yep.
But I also understand that this is not his own design.
There's a story behind that.
There's a story behind it. It's got Captain America in his PJ suit.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping when we see Sentry again in Avengers Doomsday, his suit will look somewhat better.
Yeah. Although I do think the Void as a hot toy would be awesome. That would be cool. I wonder if they do actually use Manta Black to actually like make it like super black.
So I went to see the premiere with Justin's collection. And he's a massive collector of hot toys. And I asked him, he was speculating which hot toys they will make. But I'd love the whole team. Like I said to him, it'd be really cool. But yeah, let's move on.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah.
On him, Lewis Pullman.
Yeah.
Do you know what other films he's been in recently?
Is it Top Gun?
Yes.
Top Gun Maverick?
And what was his call sign?
I don't remember.
He was the guy who played.
I don't remember.
It's Bob.
Is it?
Yeah, crazy, right?
So he's played two Bobs.
Yeah. That was really funny.
Oh, that's good. That's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Hannah John Kamen, who plays Ghost. What do you think of her?
Has she got a decent story in the Marvel comics, or is she still?
Pretty sure. I don't really remember. I did bring up this comic book because she's on the front cover, so she's a Thunderbolt.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Red Hulk is also. It's Red Hulk, Elektra, Deadpool, Punisher. It's a new iteration of Thunderbolt. Yeah. But what do you think of Ghost?
Yeah, I felt like she was one that I could have used a bit more storytelling on, and not having to like cut out 10 minutes to do an exposition dump.
Yeah.
But just sort of understand her character and what drives her a bit more. I would have liked that, I think. Because we saw a little bit of that in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's it. This is the last time we saw her.
Yeah. And there was you could get a sense of, I could get a little bit of a sense of the tragedy behind the story, but not too much. And so I felt like she was fleshed out the least.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. She was fleshed out the least, but I think I cared more about her character in this film than I did in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. Yep.
And I thought she was fun. She was great. I'm looking forward to seeing her in Avengers Doomsday, see what they do with her as a character.
Yeah.
Cool power set. She seems to control her power set better.
Yeah. And I think that opening fight scene really sort of put on show all the different power sets and how they are pretty comfortable with them, which is a really
that's pretty good. The opening sequence was great.
It's very, very good. It's sort of back to Marvel's best when a fight scene actually tells a story about how they're moving and the sort of fighting style they're using and sort of thing.
They got that down pat.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
She did take out the least. She did a character with least screen time.
Yeah,
it's Taskmaster.
Yeah,
played by Olga Kurylenko,
and they got her back for it.
And they got her back. Got her back from Black Widow.
Yeah,
only just for a brief of her face, of her saying "I'm not here for you," or something like that, and Ghost shoots her in the head.
Yep, and that's it. She's
done.
Which I guess maybe is Marvel's admission about how well received she was.
Yeah, I think many fans were like maybe disappointed with that reveal of who Taskmaster was. And they got rid of her real quick. I mean, she's not on any of the press tour.
Yeah, and you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
You sort of picked it early on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on the internet were like, "Where is Taskmaster in any of these scenes on the trailer?"
Yeah.
And we all speculated that she would have died, and sure, yeah, she did.
Yeah. To be fair, I think her suit would have gotten mixed up a bit too much with ghosts. And on the suit, I really like Ghost's suit too.
Yeah, her new suit looks
Yeah,
really sweet, really cool. Yeah, I guess that's it about Taskmaster. Then need to talk
Yeah,
about
not really.
the character.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Valentina Allegri. What do you think? What were your thoughts on her?
Yeah, so she's probably the one that I'm most interested in, and I'm probably most mixed about. What do you think? Do you think she's? What do you think her ideal or end game was, or is currently that we know of?
Yeah, that's a good. I think it'd be worth sort of figuring out where when she first get introduced to see what her journey is.
Yeah.
Until now, I think the first time we saw her was in Black Widow.
Mm.
Where at the end of the end credit scene where she talks to Yelena about taking up Clint Barton, and then we see her again in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, recruiting John Walker for something.
Yes. Yep.
So it seems at that point, it seems like she's recruiting her own team, assembling her own team for something we don't know yet at that time. And then we see her again in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
As like the head of the FBI or CIA or something like that.
And I don't even remember that.
Yeah, so she was in charge of CIA. She was I think at that point you see her very manipulative.
Yeah.
When she sort of planted those beads for Everett Ross to communicate with Wakanda.
Yes.
Only to arrest him afterwards.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, what's her motivation here?
Yeah.
And then they never really resolved that. All you know is that she's married to Everett Ross, not anymore.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then we see her now. Yeah. It's where she's, I guess, getting impeached for something.
Yes.
I don't remember what that was for. Do you remember?
I think was it because she headed up what was the corporation? Ox Corporation.
Ox Corporation. Yeah.
And I think they were doing shady things. Yeah, and she was also the head of the CIA.
Yeah, I think she still was.
Yeah.
So I think from that journey, it seems like she wants to be able to control a group of superheroes, whether her intentions are good or not, but to protect America. Because I guess we see her only after the events of Avengers Endgame. And maybe because the Avengers are no longer around, she might, maybe out of good intentions, I'm not sure, but she's trying to reassemble a group of heroes to protect. And maybe that's why she's put together a Sentry program to do that, while trying to assemble these other heroes, but failed to do so.
Yeah, it does feel like she's also got some sort of ulterior motive for her own gain.
Yes.
But I can't understand. I don't really know what that is.
I wonder whether it's power or control.
Yeah.
And I guess they haven't made that clear.
No, they haven't. I mean, it would be a really interesting play if she does end up playing almost like the Norman Osborn role in Secret Wars, was it?
It was
Dark Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Yeah, where he came in and shot the scrolls.
Yeah.
Which put him in like this position of power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if they want to do that with her. I think the reason I ask that is I was trying to work out if she's a really smart villain, almost a chess player, moving all these pieces, almost sort of like the Palpatine. I mean, that's not a great example, but in Star Wars 1, where he's moving the Trade Federation and the Separatists and and you see him move all these bits and pieces to slowly gain power. And I actually think it was quite clever.
Yeah, Palpatine play all sides of the board.
Yeah.
And
So I wonder if she's that sort of villain, which I actually really, really like. I mean, the other example, like Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
Or what's his name? Adrian Veidt in The Watchmen.
Oh yeah,
Love those.
that's very good examples.
Sort
Yeah.
of villains, or is she more? Is she more the type of villain that is just really good at rolling with the punches, but also really lucky, like just a bit opportunistic?
Yes.
She's not very smart. She's
Yeah.
not very calculative, but she just rolled well.
Yeah, I think it's. I feel like it's more that. I feel like it takes her mishaps and she turns them into opportunity.
Yep.
And I think that she can recognize that. You know, I think you see that when all the Thunderbolts were saving the pedestrians,
Yep.
and civilians from falling rubble. And I think there's that scene where she says,
Yeah, that film.
I think that's her thinking, okay, I can work with this.
Yeah, that's
Sentry failed, right? Yeah, that he used this kill switch on him, and now he's not doing what she wants him to do.
yeah. I think maybe I would love that sort of villain, that really calculated, smart chess player villain, because I don't think we had that in Marvel yet.
No, it happens.
The one that's sort of behind the scenes of the humans or whatnot, but can play that really well, like the Norman Osborn sort of.
Yeah.
But I did feel like there were times where she almost got a bit comic book villain.
Yeah.
Especially probably in the most damning example was when she was with Sentry and wanting him to kill the Thunderbolts, and he let them get away.
Oh yeah,
You have to listen to me. You have to do what I say.
Right.
Control. I guess it's almost a bit childish and a bit sort of super villain. I control you. So,
Yeah.
and that's not very smart, obviously, right? Because the smart villain would be able to turn that around for Sentry to
go and continue on that path. Yeah.
yeah. So I think maybe that's the bit where I went, I don't know if I love this version of her. Like, we haven't heard of Orcs Corporation, but they have apparently a stack load of supervillain bases all over the world.
That's right. Yeah, they didn't flesh that out at all.
Yeah. So the few things that are like, it's not 100% there for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't like. She's a fun character.
She's great. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah, I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus played that character really, really well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think I have anything else really to comment on her character really.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what happens to her.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Now that she announced the Thunderbolts as the new Avengers, which is huge. And then Yelena going, "We own you now, Valentina."
Yeah.
An interesting power play. So I'll be keen to see what happens next.
Definitely interesting. Yep.
Let's move on to maybe some of the themes and the story and the plot of the film. Obviously dealt with a lot of mental health. I think that's the underlying tone and theme of the film. How do you think they handled that in this film?
Probably be an interesting question for somebody who's a lot smarter than us.
Than us here at the theater.
Yeah. But it did feel quite well put together. I think. It's funny, sort of comparing this group to the other groups in the Marvel universe. Like the Avengers almost have very little baggage.
Yes. Yeah.
That they brought into the Avengers movie. The Guardians, you sort of saw a little bit of the baggage that they brought, and that was done really well.
Yes.
Really well through.
With the rocket.
Incidental storytelling as opposed to expository storytelling. I think this one felt like they focused a lot more on that in the characters.
Yeah.
They had a lot more time to just sit and almost just banter.
Yes.
And you saw, I guess, what they were strong in, but also where the cracks were in their personalities. And where sort of the trauma was sort of seeping through. I think obviously US Agent probably the most in his insecurity.
Yes.
So, I have a family and not really. I've got a big gun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Got a hat. Yeah.
He's quite insecure, huh? When you sort of peel the layers back.
Yeah. So I think I quite like the slightly different take on the team forming thing, where they sort of I don't know if they even just had a camera there and let them sort of vamp.
Just improv
Yeah,
a little bit of
yeah. But I thought there was some really nice moments in there that fleshed out who these people are.
Yeah, they've got real to me. Yeah, it felt like real people, and I think there was something we don't get a lot of in superhero films.
Yeah.
And I like all the backstories. I guess that's one thing about Ghost. We don't really know much about her trauma. I guess you can assume with the loss of her parents in that accident that we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp when she was orphaned quite young. And US agent with his family, and Yelena and Red Gun obviously has their own sort of trauma behind, and Sentry as well. And I thought that was a great sort of way of portraying trauma in a way that didn't hit you over the head with it, but made you really feel for the characters. And I thought that's one of the strengths of this film.
Definitely thought that. And I guess from that, how they bring the idea of family and and needing people, I guess.
But you're not alone. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So everyone, pros and cons. Do you want to talk about pros and cons of the film, or have we sort of mentioned about that already?
I think we have talked a bit about that. Have you got anything to add to that? Because you're quite positive on this, right?
I am very positive on this film. I guess I'll start with the pros. I think it had great emotional character development of the film. I really enjoyed it. All of the characters, I cared about them all. The fight scenes were really great. I think the choreography, cinematography was going back to Winter Soldier a couple of days. With the hand-to-hand combats. I thought it was just really well done. The music was really, really good. I don't know whether when the score really added to it.
I can't pay attention to that as much. Maybe I just get sucked into it too. But
that's one of the things I love. I love it. I think when we do more of the rewatches, I think that the score always can sometimes make it or break it for me. And when we get to like Spider-Man No Way Home, I feel like the score really elevates the film. But I feel like the score is really good in this one.
Okay. It's good that you pay attention to it.
Yeah, and obviously the acting, because I'm a drama teacher, and I always acting can also take me into the film or take me out of it. And I feel like sometimes if the acting is not great, it will take me out of it. So they're my pros. I feel like the cons, maybe. Actually, no. Another pro I thought was, and this might be also a con at the same time if this makes sense, but the finale, I liked how they make the final acts not like some big spectacle.
Yes, that's true.
It wasn't that the Thunderbolts fighting this monster or this bad guy then and have this epic sequence like most Marvel films do, but it was more of a internal personal struggle that it was didn't require any of that, and it didn't need it. But I feel like because of that, was it anticlimactic?
Although I will say to that, it does feel like most of New York in the MCU are gonna sort of need some sort of counseling or something, because it pretty much sucked in a lot. It for such a contained story, it involved a lot of people going through like some of the deepest, darkest.
All of New York.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be interesting to see how
that's true.
how they play that.
All of Manhattan got sucked into the void.
Yeah, and they've been trapped within the worst memories, reliving them for who knows how long.
So reliving all the drama.
Yeah,
including that little girl.
Yeah,
that's true.
Councilors can make a lot of money.
New York, well, the council who needs counseling themselves
is probably true. They probably got it worse.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I think in terms of those are my pros. In terms of cons, nothing really comes to the top of my head. Maybe apart from some character beats. I felt like Valentina, while she was great, wasn't a really fleshed out villain. I guess she's the villain of this film.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I felt like maybe some of the CGI was a little bit sketchy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe the sentry fight scene.
Which
with the Thunderbolts.
with the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, like some of that was
A
too.
bit Gumby for the
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, everything else I think was pretty good.
Yeah.
I rate it pretty highly.
Yeah,
I do rate it pretty high.
I probably don't rate it as highly as you.
Mm.
I think because of the things that was sort of mentioned, like I don't 100% know why, but I don't quite connect with Florence's character yet.
Yep.
And Val's the character of Val. I just wish she was something, but she's obviously not. They're not portraying her as that, and that makes her a bit comic book.
Yeah, not the sort of calculating villain that we've seen in other sort of films.
Yeah. And that I feel like Marvel could do really, really well.
I think they could too.
Yeah, because they have had some really good villains throughout the series. Maybe even pulling from their Netflix stuff like Kingpins.
Yeah.
A character like that, I think would be awesome for somebody high up in government who's pulling the strings,
Yeah.
who is seemingly doing good, but also benefiting a lot from it, and just moving the chess pieces without us 100% knowing.
Yeah.
I think
He would be the perfect character to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think Kingpin is allowed to be in Marvel films
Oh, really?
due to licensing. I think he's a Spider-Man
Okay, interesting.
Oh yeah, the character. Yeah, which is a real shame.
But if they made Val a bit more like that, I think that would be cool. But
Yeah.
she is what she is, and I think that the story around that probably bumps a bit on me.
Yeah, that's right.
And which drops it down to maybe a great film
Yeah,
rather than like really.
it's definitely one of Marvel's better films in recent times.
Yeah, 100%.
Much better than Captain America: Brave New World.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was really looking forward to that too. And I think the movie before that was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
and that was a hit as well. I thought that was really, really good. But yeah, hopefully Marvel's back on a good sort of run. I'm keen for Fantastic Four, which we'll probably talk about now.
Speaking of, hopefully Marvel's back.
Yeah.
The
end credit scene.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was really, really good.
Now there's two end credit scenes, right? The first one is Red Guardian.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a throwaway scene, but it was very funny. Him on the Wheaties trying to get the Wheaties box to his
and sort of put it down.
Yeah.
Really good. Well played.
Yeah. But the end credit scene, excellent. Yeah. It was apparently the longest end credit scene ever in any Marvel film.
Really? Okay.
And supposedly directed by the Russo brothers.
Oh,
which is interesting.
That is also very interesting.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the end credit scene?
Yeah, I really, really like it. It sort of comes back to that old school Marvel end credit scenes where you just. Well, I got really, really hyped for what's coming up next. What are they building? How are they going to pull this off?
Yes.
There's heaps of questions, but exciting questions that it raised. Yeah.
Me too. I thought it was awesome. I got so pumped for it. Except 14 months after this film.
Yeah, which was interesting. Yeah.
Which is a significant alternative considering I think this film's set in 2027.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it'd be good to understand where this sits in
the city. Yeah, so it's the most recent one.
Yeah.
So Captain America: Brave New World was set in 2027, and we saw that on the invite to the White House that Sam Wilson received. So they actually Marvel put in the date.
Yeah,
which is
bullshit.
Quite rare. Yeah. So I think it's like April something 2027.
Okay.
And then obviously Valentina in this film mentions that she served under a president. Yeah, turned into a red monster.
Yes. Yep. So he's basically come and gone.
Come and gone. Yeah. So I don't think we even know who the new president is.
Yeah.
And obviously Bucky Barnes becomes congressman, but obviously he's no longer a congressman.
Yeah.
But
they sort of allude to that, right? But they don't spell it out, or
yeah, they don't spell that out. Yeah, and just had to assume because
she mentions like half a term or something.
Half a term.
Yeah,
which I'm not sure how long that even is. How long is a term? 2 years or something? I'm not sure. Yeah. But yeah, this film takes. I mean, the end credit scene takes 14 months. which then I guess will be sometime in
28 or 29?
yeah 28 or 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how? So in terms of timeline, that is how many years after Endgame?
Endgame finished in 2023.
Really? Okay.
So it was 2018 when Thanos
Yeah. Okay.
fingers the 5-year time judge made it to 2023. Now yeah, this is 2020.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
I think Marvel always tries to be 2 years ahead generally of our current year, but I guess this end credit scene. I'm assuming it is when Avengers Doomsday is going to be set.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And so yeah, the end credit scene, great to see all the characters come back with a new look.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes. Yes.
like he's got a little bit longer hair.
Yeah.
Same with Yelena, Ghost the same way, and John Walker's got his little hat. Yeah, does that ever stolen anymore? And I wonder whether he's gonna know something he feels still insecure about.
Nice payoff though.
It was a nice payoff.
Yeah, payoff.
But what was cool was seeing them reveal the Fantastic Four ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
That got me real
Which
excited.
is really cool. Yeah. And I mean, even just all the hype for Fantastic Four, this could be a whole nother movie, video in itself.
That was right. Yeah,
But them being daring enough to bring Franklin
Richards into it. Yes.
So there's so much. Yeah, there's so much in it that it'd be interesting to see how they get to the point where they're flying into our universe.
Yeah, because they mentioned interdimensional.
Yeah.
And that clearly means that the Fantastic Four from a different universe, which I guess the trailer kind of shows anyway. I'm keen to see how that interaction works with the new Avengers and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
What's also interesting is Sam's not happy
Yeah, exactly. That's also quite interesting. Yeah.
about them being the new Avengers.
Because this would happen like another 14 plus months after Captain America 4 2, right?
Yes, that's right.
So he would have time to be doing his own thing in that.
I reckon he would have assembled. He would have already assembled a team
Yeah.
called the Avengers. Otherwise, why would he be suing the new Avengers
Right.
for copyright? Like, it's so silly.
Yeah.
But who do you think Sam's recruited?
Yeah, good question.
Because it's clearly Avengers and the new Avengers, and in the comic books, there's the new Avengers and the mighty Avengers that run parallel to one another.
Is that similar to like an East Coast, West Coast setup?
A little bit.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they overlapping those, or are they totally
They
separate?
do overlap, and if anything, they're like still one big team.
Okay.
With just two different leaders.
Okay.
So Sam Wilson, who do you think he's on his roster?
Yeah. Who would he have?
It'd be fun to speculate.
It would be.
We should actually speculate who it is
Interesting.
and see how right we are.
Yeah.
We should do a list.
We should put a list out. Yeah.
Let's think of maybe 6 characters. Yes, that seems to be like the
Yeah.
right number, right? Like we've got
That's as much as Marvel can afford without blowing
That's-
the movie. Although Doomsday gonna be huge.
Doomsday is actually they just leaked more. I'm not sure whether this is true, but we got another 33 names. Someone on the inside or knows them
Wow.
with the 33 names on top of the 20 something that we've seen. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show you that later. But
There you go.
so the new Avengers has Yelena, Bucky, Red Guardian, US Agent, Ghost, and Sentry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 6. So then let's come up with 6
Yeah.
characters on Sam.
It would be like Shang-Chi,
Yep.
Cool Machine,
Okay.
Panther.
Yes.
Who else?
Falcon.
Oh,
Joaquin Torres.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Namor will ever come back?
He's coming back in Avengers Doomsday,
Oh, he.
but I don't think he's coming back as an Avenger though.
Okay.
I don't think Sam would have any knowledge of him, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, the Panther would. Or whatever.
Yes, Shuri. Yeah, Shuri's Black Panther. Yeah,
If they're going to continue with her, are they going to continue with?
yeah, she's coming back in Doomsday too. So that would be. It'd be good to pick up from like to see where all these characters.
Yeah,
Just watch the oil. Yeah,
be all over the place.
it's all spread out at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so like Sam Wilson, Falcon, It seems to be the obvious sort of choice after Brave New World.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Black Panther for sure.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi for sure.
Yep.
So that's
Road be part of anything?
Rhodey. Well, so the last time we saw Rhodey was Secret Invasion.
Yeah. And the real Rhodey just coming back into
That's right. So I'm wondering whether, and I don't know whether they've cancelled the Armor Wars film or show. He was supposed to have his own thing.
That's right.
Don't know where that's coming.
Yeah.
War Machine. What about Hulk? Bruce Banner.
Do you think something like this will pull him out of?
Yeah. And Captain Marvel maybe.
Yeah, I'm interested about Captain Marvel because the MCU have now got this tier of super powerful beings.
Yeah.
That I'm curious to know what they're gonna do. Like a Sentry.
Yeah.
And Warlock.
Yes. Oh yeah. Warlock is strong.
Yeah.
Guy from Secret Invasion.
Yeah. Daenerys. And Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Very OP character.
Yeah.
There's a Scarlet Witch out there as well, which I don't know whether she's alive still.
Vision is still around.
Vision is still around. Yeah. We should actually do a power tier list.
Oh, that would be interesting. That'd be nice. MCU power tier list.
Get all the characters down.
Yeah.
And we'll just rank the power set.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to do. We'll do that another video. If you want to see that, comment in the comment section below.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be keen to see that. Cool. I thought it was great. Let's go watch it again. Any other thoughts on Thunderbolts or?
No, not really. I think I'm definitely keen to watch it again. I think that's most of my thoughts on it. A really, really solid back into the Marvel material.
It feels like they're back and forth.
Yeah. Which hopefully he has come at the right time.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think after the few sort of very average films, Brave New World, I can't even remember what else has come out in terms of its films because, Thor, Love the Thunder, oh yeah, Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania, all very average,
Very average
movies, and I guess the last sort of excitement that we got was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Which was really, really sweet. I thought that was a great film.
Yep.
Anything? Yeah, I don't even know what other films have.
Yeah.
Well, look.
Oh yeah,
What's recent?
that's a good idea.
Yeah, Brave New World. Deadpool Wolverine was the last one. I think you got the series, I guess.
Oh, yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good.
Galaxy, yeah.
I feel like it flies under the radar. We don't talk about that much.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a solid film. But the Marvels was kind of recent.
Oh, yes. And that sort of gave us a placement of what Captain Marvel was doing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where did she end up at the end of that film? Can't remember. Earth? With, I know Kamala Khan moved into Monica's home, right?
I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
That'll be a good test for placing everyone.
Placing where everyone, yeah.
In a rewatch.
Yeah. So the Quantumania,
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
And then you got a whole bunch of series like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion. Anyway, I guess they're all along. But anyway, there's a lot of content out there. But
And it's been one of the better ones.
And this has definitely been one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. If there's nothing else, then we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do another. If you like these spoiler reviews for these Marvel films, let me know. Because I think the next one will be Fantastic Four, which will be a fun one to review and to talk about. I'm really hoping that's a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. I feel like it is. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, guys. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all these videos. We're going to do, got so much content coming.
Yeah.
So many rewatch videos. Maybe some music. Maybe a power tier list thing. Any other Marvel content you want to see, let us know. But until then, we'll see you soon.